Perfect. Thank you so much. So, hi everyone. Today we're going to speak about RevOps transformation. We're mainly going to speak about growth and how revenue operations can help with building streamlined processes to actually bring go-to-market into a tech-driven company and bring metrics to support not just the company growth, but also to increase efficiency. Short agenda. So I'm going to introduce myself a little bit so you will understand exactly from where I'm coming from. I will explain what is RevOps for those of you who don't really understand what it means. Again, we are the new kid on the block, and we are now building and helping companies to grow from a go-to-market perspective and not from a specific business unit perspective. We're going to speak a little bit about the problem and the customer-centric approach, which I'm supporting and empowering at every company that I join. And why does go-to-market basically need RevOps? Not just from digital transformation, but also from process and business transformation. And we're going to speak a little bit about key areas and key metrics. So a little bit about myself. I'm Leore. I'm based and live in Tel Aviv. I was born in the US. And today I'm working at Buildots, a construction tech company. I've established and built the revenue operations team from scratch, bottom up. This is the third startup that I've been doing that. And we've started with not just bringing the right tools and CRM and build the tech stack for each go-to-market team, but also build all the processes, all the strategies together from scratch. I joined at a very early stage. And I've also co-founded the Optimizers. It's an Israeli community for operations leaders. We're focusing mainly on RevOps, BizOps, or any kind of tech ops in SaaS companies. Because most of my life, when I've started my career, like 13 years ago, I was a lonely wolf and I had no one to talk with, to advise, or get any kind of information out, not just what is RevOps. Back then I was sales ops and sales and marketing ops, but basically understand exactly how to build a process or how to support the company to become more scalable, more efficient, more productive from team to team. So I'm not going to speak about myself too long. You can always find me, by the way, on LinkedIn. But what we're going to speak about today is revenue operations. So as I see it, revenue operations is an end-to-end operating model. We help organizations to run their business and to build a holistic process for all go-to-market functions and to enable them. And I've changed also my approach. Back then, I used to use the word enforce the team, but I think we are enabling them to provide more insights and data about the company predictable revenue and about how actually the pipeline goes. Revenue operations basically unifies the company go-to-market by integrating all teams together from sales, marketing to customer success. We remove the silos and we make sure that everyone is focused and work as one team because all of us impact revenue and all of us want to make sure that the company not just grows and succeed, but we're also working together to support our customers because our happy customers are dependent on the revenue growth and the company efficiency. I love this, by the way, this quote, and I'm fully support this 4-question go-to-market framework. I don't know if you've heard about it, the MOVE framework, which is super helpful to understand exactly how revenue operations provide a transformation or help the company to transform from a selling approach or a buyer approach to only increase revenue and bring new logos. And help the company understand that we need to consider and make sure that we are working with our customers. We are considering and we are treating our customers as our prospects, as customers, because eventually, if we succeed in the initial sales process, we eventually make sure that we convert them into not just a paying customer, but also a growing one. Revenue operations basically is the modern operating model for driving efficient, predictable revenue by using interconnected, observed end-to-end process. By that, we're ensuring not just a working go-to-market framework, but we're also ensuring a full communication between one another, because what we do is we tell the truth. We are, by connecting everyone and making sure that everyone brings the data and part of the go-to-market or the selling process, we actually create transparency. It's not just 360 customer overview. We're also telling the teams what they're doing good or wrong, and how we can help them improve themselves and become the better version of them. So basically, the problem is, as I see it from a RevOps perspective, is the lack of centralized go-to-market process. The problem usually surfaces when there is no process, when everything is such a mess, when there is no alignment between marketing, especially, and we can see it, and I think most of us experienced it in the past. I know I did, by the way, with sales and marketing, the handover, the handshake, milestones. These are the most painful and friction that we can see, and therefore it also guide into the misaligned incentives. We don't know exactly who is responsible to what, how we measure their commission, how we're going to pay and incentivize each team to make sure that they're not just moving a lead through the pipeline from MQL to SQL to a closed one, and later on upsell to reduce churn, but we also don't know exactly how to make sure that all the teams are 100% invested in the process and want to make sure that they provide the data so the other team will succeed. When you work in silos and when you work on your own KPIs, you don't really care on the others, right? So trying to understand the process will eventually also allow us to create good, measured and the correct KPIs for the company or for the teams, or at least understand what is working and what not, and we can change it along the way to make sure that we are scaling. Our customers don't care about our silos, and as RevOps, we want to make sure that we are giving the best service to our users. So if our customers don't care about the silos, we cannot give them the experience that breaks along the way, and we want to make sure that the operations process is moving forward from one milestone to the other. So let's say when they ask for a demo, we are reaching out as fast as we can to ensure that they are seeing the product and we can solve their pain. And later on, we want to make sure that once they had a demo and they like what they saw, we can move forward and build a cadence of meetings to introduce them with specific stakeholders within the company, and also gather the data and ensure that once they sign the deal, they have the best onboarding process and QBRs, EBRs session to learn on not just their experience, but also learn about what is working and not, improve that ASAP, and give them the best experience that they need. And this is also, as RevOps, we're also making sure that we're doing that internally within the team. So we want to make sure that marketing are providing everything that is needed through the handshake process to sales, and from sales to customer success. They're not just closing deals, because we want to make sure that the handshake process is seamless, so customer success can work on upsell and work on the renewal, so we can ensure the customer growth, and we can rely on not just increasing revenue by bringing new logos, but also making sure that our customers are happy. And therefore, we are connecting the dots. We're connecting the dots not just from a process perspective, but we are building the process. We then build the right tech stack and enable the team to use it, to provide insights, to provide the data. We then generate it into metrics and KPIs to make sure that we are choosing not just the right market, but we're also approaching the right buyer persona, and eventually also making sure that we are helping the customer grow and build a great partnership with us. So go to market, as I see it, is not a strategy. It's a mission or a vision. It's an interactive process that help us achieve the organization strategy. So we together with the go-to-market team, we execute the company's strategy, and we work together to see not just growth, but also see improvement along the way. I think that the company, or basically RevOps, should promote a customer-centric approach, meaning if we're talking about transformation, and we're saying that it's not just a traditional approach of just creating a funnel and making sure that all the benchmark and conversion rates are happening, or we are working according to just best practices. We need to think outside the box. So what it basically means that we are no more, sales is not the king anymore. I think sales is important. I think marketing is important to generate revenue, but we also have customer success. So now it's not just two players, it's three, together with RevOps, together with all go-to-market teams. We are not just building a campaign-driven strategies, we are also optimizing processes to continue the improvement of our customer journey, and making sure that we use analytics to measure the success and to understand if we need to improve future strategies or we need to formulate new ones. We also work together on the customer engagement. We provide by highly personalized, engaging experience, and this is supported by out-of-the-box cadences, tailor-made sequences, messaging, and altogether we want to drive growth and basically make sure that our brand is strong, and make sure that our buyer persona and our prospects, even customers, are super aware of our product, our features, our solution, everything. And I think this is what also make revenue operations super strong and powerful within the organization, because at the end of the road, we're not just working here with the go-to-market, we're also assisting other departments like product, finance, etc. And this is how we break the silos and create a multi-communication processes between everyone, and we create a full transparency across the board. This way, we can also generate metrics, go-to-market metrics, and make sure that we are not helping only sales and marketing success, we're helping everyone's success. So I divided it to 3 P's. I think with revenue operations, what you can do is you can start with the problem, you define the market fit, and you start with the ideation process. So we together with the go-to-market, we are mapping activities, and we are working on the funnel conversion rates and choosing specific metrics like CAC, booking pipeline, and win rate to ensure that we are actually solving the problem. We are giving an answer to a pain, to use cases that we can see with our customers. We are also supporting the product and making sure that the transition is well defined and growing, meaning we are creating engagement, we are understanding the pipeline A to Z, not just for new logos, but also existing, meaning upsells and cross-sells. We're trying to understand the velocity and the average deal size to make sure that everything is, the process is efficient, the company is working in a productive way, and teams are working together to increase revenue. And later on, what we do is also we support the platform, meaning we're making sure that the execution is going well. And if not, we can alert and we can manage risk right away, and to ensure again that our customers are happy, that we can see ROI, that we have expansion growth. We can see that the gross margin metrics lowering down, and then by that we can also improve the pricing and everything that is related to the relationship that we are managing with our customers. Here is a winning by design model, which I'm very supporting of, because I think it basically emphasizes how important revenue operations transformation within the organizations. Because when I started my career, we were super focused on marketing initiatives and sales initiatives. We're super focused on the dollar and making sure that we're doubling the dollar only from a sales perspective, meaning we're only looking at the customer acquisition. But I think, and winning by design shows it very nicely, that this is the bow tie. So we start with the customer acquisition, and then we move forward with the customer success, because we want to make sure that we're not just building a lead gen machine and a self-development process and journey that is based on the entire life cycle of the sales process. We're also making sure that once the customer or the prospect is committed, they are fully on board, they adopt the solution, and then they expand, and vice versa. So we're no longer focusing on just increasing sales, we're focusing on building a relationship, a partnership with our customers, because this is how we can support not just the go-to-market teams, we can support the company across the board. So why does go-to-market need RevOps? So this slide basically concludes, I think, what I've mentioned so far. We can see that revenue operations grew from marketing operations, sales operations, and CS operations. We break the silos also from the operational side of the company, and we bring everyone to sit under one umbrella, because this way we can make sure that we are building a tech stack, a scalable tech stack, to improve the data intelligence, and we can remove the discrepancies between the departments. And basically, we see most discrepancies are falling out between the handshakes from one department from the other, and the handovers are super hard sometimes, because again, everything is relying on the communication between one another. We're also helping raising the voice of each team's reps. We're breaking the silos. We're making sure that marketing is heard, sales is heard, and then also customer success. We're making sure that we are all working together, and everyone is involved in the customer journey and supporting what the customer needs, because a happy customer is a great ambassador. It's a reference. It's we can then increase LTV, and we can of course increase revenue. So it means that the company succeed as its own. Process optimization. I think that revenue operations together, combining technology and data, means that we can use that to optimize the process itself. And it's not just the lead journey or the customer journey, also the user's journey. We can, since the users are our customers and we provide them with a service to help them be the best version of themselves, we need to hear and enable them in the best way we can to ensure that they are using the right tools to help us get more visibility on what is happening with the company and what is not. We can also help with capacity planning, which is a cross-functional collaboration, super important. I think that in order for us to ensure fully communication between the teams or within the company, this is our superpower. Once we're breaking the silos and making sure that there is a cross-functional collaboration together with not just the go-to-market, but with product, finance, and even R&D, it helps everyone to get insights about how we are doing internally. And it can also help us alert ourselves and make sure that we are aware of the risks at a very early stage, instead of just keep doing the same mistake all over again and then lose customers or lose revenue, or even lose, the efficiency of the product. And again, relationships. I think that revenue operations is the best solution to improve relationships internally and externally. Back then, we were in most companies and in previous processes that I was involved in, we were focusing on engagement, on adoption. And I think this is super important metric, but it's not just that. And especially here in recession and this economic times, we can see that relationships are the most important thing, because we're not just building relationship internally, because having a great relationship between sales and marketing, of course, this would be an utopia, right? But also having great relationship, not just when a prospect signed an agreement and becomes a client, but before that, when we build a relationship from bottom up, since they were a lead, or they visited us at the booth at the event, or they met us, or they saw an ad on social media, or when they even got a cold call from our SDRs and BDRs. Building relationship from the first just gives great impression, and when you give a great impression, it helps you, to be better and to close the deal faster and improve metrics. So and this is how we can see it. We can see it from when we are focusing on key metrics. My policy, by the way, is that you don't have to measure everything. And when I'm working with leadership or management and founders, I always say, don't measure everything. Measure what matters. Yes, we have the data. Yes, I think we should be DevOps function should be join the company at a very early stage. I think it will building the foundation is like building a building. So if you build a building together with the go-to-market team and the operational team together, then you can grow safely, you can scale fast, and you can also do right. Because if you want to get metrics and you want to focus on your key areas, you need to get transparency from the beginning, and you need to make sure that your process is right. Processes are made to be modified. Processes are made to be changed and are made to be scalable. But in order to do that, you need to start building the right process from the beginning and build a seamless, holistic process, and not build a process that is relevant or suitable for one department. And I think this is what makes us RevOps not just powerful within the organization, but it also gives us, the place to come and just work together with the teams on data aggregation, on performance metrics, on customer advocacy. We can also help them with the implementation and adoption, and eventually understand the customer experience metrics, which is super important to understand the productivity and the efficiency of overall operational efforts, especially within the organization. And because this will help the company basically to get the recipe for success and to replicate success in the future. Before I finish my presentation and we will have time for questions, I wanted to share a little bit metrics about and about revenue operations and how it's crucial to drive expansions, and how methodology and building process to improve bottom lines results are super important. And you can see that by McKinsey research, having a streamlined go-to-market process can increase productivity by 41%, which is super high. When we are focusing on customer experience, 89% by Merkin Group saying that revenue operations help in increasing retention and improving the focus on the customers, and making sure that we are building great relationship to ensure the customer happiness. And 70% by Accenture means that by bringing revenue operations, we bring innovation. We bring innovation not just from a solution perspective, but also within the process, the internal processes. So when we bring the right tools and we build the right automations, and we allow the users, the go-to-market users, to use these tools and provide the data, we're helping them. We are influencing the revenue growth of the whole company. So we are a key player for them and for the company as the others go-to-market teams. Also, a study by Forrester said that it presents benchmarks of companies that integrated revenue operations within the organization, that shows that once they had a revenue operations function from the early stage, the pipeline was increased and grew in 20%. Also, customer acquisition cost, CAC metrics, which is super important, especially in SaaS companies and especially in hyper growth companies, was reduced by 50%. And when we look at the LTV metrics, lifetime value, which is super important right now, we are also in this time, we're focusing also on NRR, meaning we want to make sure that we are lowering the churn rate and making sure that we are that our revenue is safe and our customers are staying and continuing the partnership. So the increase is 25%, which are very great numbers for revenue operations, since revenue operations has formulated only, I think, 4 years ago when I first started about it through COVID. 2 minutes, HubSpot. I love this citation of HubSpot saying how revenue operations is the new approach, is the new transformation for your business to run a friction-free organization. And basically, sometimes when you have revenue operations, you don't have to overcomplicate everything. When you want basically build a smooth process to ensure revenue growth.